Here are 3 magic loop techniques for you to try. Hi there, I'm Cilla from Cilla Crochets, and I'm here to cheer you on throughout your crochet journey, no matter what stage you're at. Now in this video, I'm going to show you 3 different techniques to make a magic loop, which is basically the first starting stitch you use for most amigurumi pieces. So if you're interested in learning to make amigurumi, or you haven't quite got the hang of doing a magic loop yet, this is the video for you. So the idea is you'll get 3 different methods to try because no one is the same and everyone learns differently. So hopefully you can try all 3 and choose which one works best for you. Before I show you the 3 different techniques to make a magic loop, I just want to share a little bit with you about what a magic loop actually is. First of all, a magic loop can go by quite a few different names. It's also known as a magic circle, an adjustable loop, a magic ring, an adjustable ring, lots and lots of different names. So a magic loop is a technique that is a great way to start any crocheted piece that is crocheted in the round. So that means crocheting in circles basically instead of back and forth in rows. Most commonly, amigurumi are often crocheted in the round. So I'm using my pattern Milo the Monkey as an example here. Now you'll see at the bottom of Milo's foot is a little starting circle. So essentially it shouldn't look too different to the rest of the foot, but it is just the way that the crocheting in the round starts. And that little technique, the tiny little circle in the middle, is the magic loop. But the reason the magic loop is so popular is because it's the tightest, the most secure, and also the least noticeable way to start off your amigurumi pieces or pieces when you're crocheting in the round. Now there are different ways to start off crocheting in the round. If you do really struggle with this magic loop technique and you can't find one that works for you, there are alternatives, so do not panic. I will do another video on alternative methods in the future. However, for now, I'm going to show you 3 different techniques to make the magic loop so you can try all 3 and find the one that works best for you. Let's get started. Alright, I'm going to start off with method 1, which is my personal favourite method. Here we go. All you need for this method is yarn and a crochet hook. Now hold the yarn tail in the front of the hand that you hold your yarn with. Then wrap it around the back of 3 fingers. When you reach the inside of your hand, draw the yarn over the starting yarn tail so it makes a cross. Then back over the back of your fingers so the yarn strands are parallel on this side. So we've got a cross at the front and parallel yarn strands at the back. Now we'll use a hook. So insert the hook under the first yarn strand and grab onto the second yarn strand with the hook, pulling it under the first. Then twist your hook so it creates a turn in the yarn just under your hook. Now using the hook, grab the same yarn strand that your hook is attached to and pull it through the loop that you've created on your hook. And that is our magic loop. So the little knot underneath our hook is a slip knot. The loop is where we'll crochet into, and the little yarn tail there is what adjusts the size of the loop. So if you pull on that, it will tighten the loop. If you pull on the loop, it will shorten the little yarn tail. So now you just need to crochet the stitches for your first round, whatever pattern you're using is, into the loop. And when we do this, we have to crochet over the little yarn tail as well as the loop, as you can see I'm doing here. So I'm just crocheting 6 single crochet, as this is most commonly used for starting amigurumi pieces. Now once you've crocheted the stitches, pull on the little yarn strand And now you can continue crocheting your second round, and it's as simple as that. Just as a heads up, when it does come to crocheting your second round, I always recommend securing that yarn tail, and that is just to make sure your circle doesn't get, loosen over time, which has happened to me, especially with my first ever amigurumi project. So you can either crochet over the little yarn tail as you're crocheting your second round, like I've just done here, or my preferred method is to actually get a tapestry needle out and sew the little yarn tail into the back of the magic circle. So I would just weave it through those back stitches one way, skip a stitch and go back in the other direction, and that's to make sure it is super tight, which is really important if you're making amigurumi for babies, for example, because you don't want them accidentally, I don't know, chewing on a loose thread or something like that. You want your pieces to be as secure as possible. Here is method 2, another super popular way to make the magic loop. Here we go. For this method, we're going to use yarn and a hook again. Firstly, wrap the yarn tail around your pinky finger for some security. Then bring the yarn across the back of your hand, drawing it up over the index finger and wrapping the yarn around your finger twice. But don't make it too tight, and then grab onto the yarn tail with your thumb. Now insert your crochet hook under those 2 loops. Now we're going to twist the crochet hook so it grabs onto that back yarn strand. As we're doing that, we've just created a little crossover under the hook. And now we're going to use the hook to grab onto the same strand again and pull it through the loop that's currently on our hook. And I've just let it go, so let me grab onto that again and pull it through the loop on my hook. There we go. And now that has created the slip knot part of the magic loop. And the magic loop is just under the hook there, you can see. So again, the little yarn tail is used to tighten the loop, or you can pull on the loop to make it a little bit looser as well. From here, we're going to crochet into the loop, and that includes over the little yarn tail. So I'm just doing 6 single crochet stitches again, the most common starting position for most amigurumi pieces. But you would just crochet whatever it is that your pattern tells you to crochet into the magic loop or magic ring or magic circle, whatever you'd like to call it. So once you have your stitches crocheted, you then pull on the little yarn tail, and that will close your circle. Just like with the first method I showed you, I always recommend crocheting your next round, either incorporating that yarn tail under the stitches or sewing that yarn tail into the back of your stitches of the magic loop, just so it's extra secure and it doesn't come undone. Here is method 3 for the magic loop. Let's give this one a try. For this one, we're just going to use our hands and the yarn. So firstly, loop the yarn tail over the yarn behind it. Now put 2 fingers into the loop and pull out a strand from the ball. Twist the yarn towards you so it creates a crossover in the yarn. Using your fingers, pull through another strand, and that has created our slip knot if you pull tightly. So let me try and deconstruct all these bits of yarn, because I know it looks a little bit like a tangle at the moment. Try and untangle it all. So the loop that we were holding is our actual magic loop. This is the yarn strand that will adjust the tightness of the loop, as you can see here. Now the long loop that we created with the slip knot is where we're going to put our hook. So if you put your hook underneath that and pull on the yarn strand attached to the ball, that will tighten it and you'll be able to start crocheting your stitches into the loop. So now let's crochet some stitches. I'm going to crochet 6 single crochets. That is in American terms. I'm sorry I haven't mentioned that until now. Don't get confused because American and UK terms are different. But here we go with just crocheting those stitches into the loop and over the little yarn strand as well. Now we'll pull the yarn strand and that will close your magic circle tight. And that is it. Now that is a bit of a messy one to look at, but I'm hoping it will help anyone that's maybe struggling to use the hook proficiently yet. It does take some time getting used to using your hook and holding the yarn and all of that, so it's just a quick way to help beginners hopefully create that magic circle. Don't forget about weaving in the yarn tail so your magic circle doesn't come loose. And that brings us to the end of this magic loop tutorial. I really hope it's helped, and I hope you've been able to try all 3 methods and you've found one that works for you. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more crochet videos from me. Until next time, happy crocheting!